Everybody. I'm Elisa Meredith from Tailwind, and I'm joined today by Jeff C.
Hello, how are
Hey,
you doing?
Jeff, it's been a long time.
I know if you'd ever actually do some work and not go on vacation all the time, maybe we could do more of these, but that's all right.
It was
I know,
great, by the
yeah.
way. Thanks for
That was
asking.
you had some great shots I saw on Instagram stories. It looks like you were having fun.
I was
So
having
I
fun.
took a little mini vacation, so I did some fishing. So
Oh,
I'll let you
good.
go.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
good. There's a lot of good food involved.
Yes.
There's some crazy driving over there in Europe, but I survived. I'm back, and I've missed so much in the world of Instagram.
Yes, you have.
So thank you
Yes.
for being here.
This is like a
And
primer for you. There'll be a test
yes,
later.
yes, okay. I'll probably
So
fail, but I'll try. So what we're talking about today is all the stuff that's happening on Instagram. It can be completely overwhelming. So what of it can we ignore, and what do we really need to pay attention to as far as our marketing goes? So I think it makes sense to start kind of back in time.
right.
Something happened in May-ish or so that I don't think we've
Right. Since
talked
our
about yet.
last talk, I guess you could say that's where I went back to.
Okay, okay.
So one of the things as we're going along, if you guys have questions who are watching, and by the way, thank you for being here, and we'd love for you guys to share it out on all the socials if you would do
Yes,
that.
please. Thank you.
One of the so stop us if you, I mean not stop us, but ask your questions and we'll try to get to them because there is a lot of news. I do the Eric Fisher and I break news about stuff all the time over on Social Media Examiner's channel,
Mhm.
and it feels like there's Instagram stuff every day. It really does.
Yeah,
So we're going to
busy.
break it down. First of all, back in the day, they announced something called action buttons, and they've been teasing this for a while. But this is important for marketers, especially if, and I know we have a lot of Pinterest and visual marketing people who are crossing over in that area. But there's these new action buttons that they released to some of their partners, which allows them, especially for like retail shops and people who are wanting to book reservations. And they actually in Texas, where I'm at, they partner with Chow Now to use a start order button, and they're testing all this stuff out. And so this will be really important for you guys when they roll this out. If you have clients or you are a service that has all this stuff, because it's going to be really nice for people to order stuff right from Instagram, especially in the retail. I mean, in the restaurant industry where Instagram's full of food photos. And if people see something like, oh gosh, I want those nachos, and they could order them and go pick them up or whatever, it'll be huge for Instagram. So
So do you
that will be
see
a big
it
deal.
being more of a local play, or will it be like online e-commerce
Yeah,
kind
it's
of?
going to start out with probably the big chains, but I think that the local restaurants will be able to use this, which will be very, very cool. If you want to find out the current and upcoming action buttons, you can find their partners on the Instagram business blog, and that's at business.instagram.com. And there should be something on there under like making business
Yes, I
easier to do on
shared
Instagram.
that. I
Okay.
shared that link
Okay.
below. So it looks like the partners that they're rolling out to, like you said, Chow Now,
Right.
Eventbrite, Fandango, Grubhub.
Yeah.
These
That's the other
sound
thing.
like local
Yeah.
businesses.
The other
Yeah.
thing is Eventbrite. I know a lot of marketers and a lot of people in our space use Eventbrite when they do events. And so being able to tie that in to that platform is going to be really big for like conferences and
Mhm.
meetups and that kind of stuff too. So that might be something for a lot of us to look at. So
Yeah. So I would say even if you're not charging for your event, you could still set one up through Eventbrite, right?
I think so. I haven't played with the integration yet,
Okay.
but I've heard of people using that. So that would be
Yeah.
fun to test. And if you've used it, let us know in the comments because we'd like to know.
Yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't really help with if you're selling a physical item that you're going to send.
Probably not. I didn't see
Not
that.
yet.
I think it's
Okay.
mostly for like, and I have a feeling it's going to roll out, restaurants and then
Yeah.
places like where you need to like book a hotel room or book an
Mm.
event space, and then probably even to like hairdressers and places like that. I see that like book now kind of things really they're going to
Yes.
push that really hard, especially because those fit in well with Instagram's audience.
Right. But the next one on our list of things that I missed when I wasn't paying attention to Instagram was about launching payments for commerce,
Yes,
which
and
is
so
cool.
they're it's going for a limited set of partners right now. In fact, I have the ability even for my clients where I can do shoppable tags, and that's been out for a while. Where you can they can go and it clicks and it actually goes and uses the shopping cart on your website. You have to have a mobile enhanced version, and this is going to make it so it's just one-click shopping right on Instagram, almost like on Pinterest where we have the pinnable, buyable pins, not
Yes.
Bible pins, buyable
Unless
pins.
you're selling
I
Bibles.
know that's
Yep.
right. So so it's going to be like that where it clicks and it's right there, and this is being tested, and it's like we said, it's being rolled out to just a limited number of people right now.
Mhm.
But I have a feeling that it's going to roll out like the other ones did with BigCommerce and Shopify, because those people, like they did with Pinterest, they tested it and then they rolled it out to those on those platforms first. So be on the lookout for that as well. So very, very cool stuff that's rolling out there, making it easier for people to buy stuff from you on Instagram, especially if you don't have to go to another page. If it's just boom right there, that's going to be huge.
So assuming it rolls out to Shopify and BigCommerce, you could possibly use it for a digital download.
I would think so.
Okay,
and
that'd be cool.
Well, the thing is Snapchat started testing this as well, and so Instagram steals whatever Snapchat does really fast, and so that's a good measure that it's probably going to roll out to other people. So, because right now we're kind of like swipe up if you're doing stories and link in bio, which kind of gets a little clunky. There's some workarounds, but being able to do that from right from Instagram, it would be very, very cool. So.
Yeah, so why do you think that they are going to such great lengths and creating all these new workarounds and integrations, which are pretty complicated, rather than allowing links in the post?
I think it's because Facebook is running out of ad platforms, and Facebook owns Instagram, and Instagram's a whole new channel for them to eventually put ads and monetize stuff. So this is just me talking, but I think pretty soon we'll see some where you can, and I think you can already, but buy some stories ads. You're going to see more ads in your stories, more ads in your Facebook feeds. They're going to figure out cooler ways to do Instagram ads, because they want to make it. They want to have the content creators keep creating great content, but they also want to make it easier for you to make some money, because then they eventually will get probably a cut of that.
Okay. So rather than just enabling ads or links in the post, which would be easy, you either have to jump through hoops with integrations, or you have to buy an ad.
Well, they want you to make they want you to make money, but everything they do is eventually, they'll take, just like Facebook, they made it easy and you could really drill down, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're competing much more against other people for that space, and so prices go up. And so I just think eventually that's going to happen with Instagram. But it also can be a great opportunity for getting your brand, if it fits into Instagram's audience, in front of a lot of eyeballs. So.
Right. So at this point, though, if you had that integration, they're not taking a cut, right?
Not yet. But like I said, that probably might, that would change. I just,
sure.
But
that's only fair, really.
Right,
if they're enabling you to make money, they should make money.
And so, I think, a lot of platforms do that same thing. And so it's great while it lasts. So get on board. I will do it as soon as Shopify lets me do that with a one tap, almost like one tap pin kind of things, where I can purchase stuff. You bet I'm going to be playing with that and trying to figure out ways to make money on it.
Sure.
Charging. Yeah.
And then it still might be worth it. You might be hooked. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so we have some new stickers and things.
Yes. So I'm teasing you right now. There's a brand new sticker that I will tell. That's going to be the last thing we share. So you have to stick around for that.
Okay.
Because it just rolled out today and it's breaking news. So we'll share that at the end. But this emoji slider for stories is very, very cool. So you probably have seen this. You now, instead of just like having a poll like yes or no, where you can put those stickers on, you have this emoji slider, which actually lets you slide how much you like something. And you can change that emoji slider to whatever emoji is on your phone. Like there's the beard emoji now. I could say, well, how much you like this beard? And people would go, a lot of beard or less beard. And so you can have some fun with it. They're really doing a great job, I think, is trying to get people to interact with each other on stories, because of all the stuff that happened with Facebook and Facebook Analytica. And they're really pushing right now to make your time on Facebook, really well spent and healthy. That's trickling down, I think, to Instagram. So they're wanting, I think, not for you just to sit there and tap through stuff, but to interact, to talk to each other. And so this kind of thing is just another fun way you can do it. Marketers could use it to actually, what do you think of this? We're demoing this new product. it's in these two colors. Which one do you think? Do you like it this way, or and they could slide up on how much they like it. So it's another way to really, you could pull your audience. And I love any of those things. One, they're super interactive, and two, that it just gives you a better idea what your audience really wants.
Yeah, fun. Okay.
So, and the biggest news probably you missed when you were gone was, this was huge. Instagram actually told us how their algorithm worked. And to me, this was incredible because most social media platforms don't do this. They don't, tell you, how this thing works. But they said that Instagram users were missing 70% of all their posts and 50% of their friends' posts before they ditched the chronological feed for the algorithm in July of 2016. And there was huge outcry. Just remember when Pinterest did the same thing. Everyone's, oh, the sky is falling. And but now Instagram says because they've made that change, relevancy has led to its 800 million plus users seeing 90% of their friends' posts and spending more time on the app, which of course is what they want. So how does this work? So there was a thing. They actually brought journalists in and reporters and told how this works. So there are three main factors that determine what you see in your Instagram feed. Number one is your interest. How much Instagram predicts you're going to care about a post, with higher ranking for what matters to you. And it's determined on like past behavior on similar content. And they even hinted at machine learning, analyzing actual content of the post. So for me, I like a lot of woodworking posts. I like people. And so I see more of that in your feed because I'm interested in it. Mm-hmm. And so that's one of the factors where they kind of have a weight. The second one was recency, which was how recent the post was shared. With they prioritize timely posts over like weeks old ones, and sometimes I believe that I don't post for weeks, and so mine kind of falls in that category every once in a while. And the other one is relationship. How close are you to the person who shared it? If I'm interacting with Elisa a lot on her Instagrams and commenting on her stuff, that's going to be a factor in how much I see her posts, because their Facebook or Instagram is saying, hey, he's liking Elisa's stuff. I'm going to give her all that she puts out there. It's going to weight higher in the feed. So
there's another element in that relationship that really stuck out to me, which is if you're tagged together in photos, which to me was like, okay, they're really trying to get into our actual in real life habits, right? So if I'm tagged with my friend Lisa, we went on this trip together, we're tagged together in photos, she's much more likely to see my content now.
Right. And there's that new thing now where you can get to the end of the feed, where you see that. So you can actually go to the end. It says, you have reached the end, which is like,
get out and do something.
Yeah. Go outside.
Get some fresh air.
But yeah, so what you're saying, the relationships between two people, commenting on your posts and tag together. Now, I'm sure I can just hear marketers' gears churning, thinking, I'll just tag people, and that doesn't work because you can actually be muted. You can actually get things turned off. And so don't do that. Because I actually, on some posts where people are trying to get my attention and they tag me on random posts, well, you can go and untag yourself and report it. And so don't do that. It's not a way. Yeah, it's not a way to get really noticed well. And beyond those three kind of main factors, there's some other signals that they said is going to kind of influence how it shows up in your feed. Frequency, how often you open Instagram, and it's going to try to show you the best posts since your last visit. So like we said before, like if I'm looking at your stuff a lot, they're going to show me, the best stuff that's done really well since I opened it last time.
All right, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Because I thought that they changed this. So when I open up my Instagram app, I will see kind of not quite in focus yet a photo that I might have seen before, and then it doesn't load up all the way, and it loads up something else. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, and I think it's because my connection wasn't good. I see that too. It's it looks like it's loading, and then it's like, and you're like, oh, I already saw that, and then all of a sudden it changes. That happens to me too. I think it's kind of a buggy thing in the app right now, and I'm not really sure why it's doing that, but I have noticed that too. So
because half the time it's like, oh, I wanted to see that, and then it's gone. I can't find it.
So I don't think
Okay.
it has anything to do with that. I think it has something to do with the, you know, and it's really weird because even on a great connection, like I noticed, I'm like, why is something wrong with my house Wi-Fi?
Mm.
I don't know. So I think it's
Okay.
a little buggy on that
All
with
right.
the newest update. So frequency is one. Following, if you follow a lot of people, Instagram will be picking from like a wider breadth than you might see for specific person. So if you're following a ton of people, it's going to have a harder time working and finding. You're going to see more people than if you're just following like 100 or so.
Yeah.
So it
Now
makes.
okay.
I was going to say, so it makes a difference. Just don't follow people that you think are important or that want you to, because it's going to mess up your feed. I only follow people who I'm friends with and I really want to see their content. The same way with hashtags. I mean, because you could follow hashtags now, and so I'd be a little specific on what you're actually following because of this reason.
Yeah, and I would suggest I put the TechCrunch article in there, and if you go look at that, just keep in mind that it's talking about from the user's perspective. So when it says things like, if you follow up people, or how close you are to the person, if you commented on their post, that doesn't mean that you as a marketer should go out and comment on other people's posts, and that will imply some kind of relationship. But no, it's your followers commenting on your own posts. So I had to kind of change my mindset when reading this update to make sure that I was applying it properly as a marketer. From the beginning of time, this has been important to get more comments.
Right. Well, and also, Instagram's smart. It knows if you're just going and commenting on a bunch of random people trying to get these Instagram influencers to follow you. That doesn't work. Now, if Elise and I are commenting back and forth a lot on our posts, and she's tagging me in stories and that kind of stuff, then of course Facebook is going, hey, Jeff likes Elisa's content. I'm going to serve up more of that. So that makes sense. And so just keep that in mind. That when you're doing this stuff, that there's a fine line between being spammy and actually interacting with people. And I think a lot of times marketers jump to the I'm going to be spammy and then I'll ask for something really quick. That's not how relationships are built. So
no, not in real life, not online. No.
Yes. So that's one thing to remember on Instagram, because I have people I see follow me and then they unfollow me real quick. It's almost like that Twitter thing. Like, oh, they're not gonna follow me, so I'm gonna get rid of them anyway. So so usage is another one. Usage, how long you spend on Instagram. This makes sense. You're gonna see the best posts during the short sessions, and then if you're like binging on Instagram, you're gonna dig deeper in and show you stuff that way.
That makes sense.
The other really cool thing they did in this kind of press conference is they did this myth busting where they said this really isn't true that a lot of people have said is true. And take this with a grain of salt, because this is Instagram saying this stuff. We had a lot of people when we talked about this on Social Media Examiner's channel argue with us because they swore that it was true. But
they know their algorithm, right?
Well, this is Instagram though, so they everybody sees a conspiracy. So take it, with what a grain of salt.
Yeah, but I have to say, let me just say though, we should give them the benefit of the doubt, because like Pinterest, who's recently come out and said, we want to support content creators and help you know exactly how to get your content seen. They don't have to do that. Instagram didn't have to do that either. So, they're trying to help.
Yeah.
So,
well, the first one is, and this kind of goes back to when we first talked about it, Instagram is not thinking about changing it back to the chronological feed, no matter how much you whine or complain. Because it doesn't want to add any more complexity. They don't want to have like, here's a button you switch on and off and all this stuff. But it did point out, hey, we're listening to you who don't like it. Your concerns are noted. It's pretty much what they're saying. So they're not going to switch it back. But it also said they don't hide posts in the feed. So you'll see everything posted by somebody you follow if you keep scrolling. Like if you say, I'm not seeing all of Elisa's posts. If you really scroll through her stuff, you will, and you follow her and you scroll through to the very end, you will see all her posts. Yeah. So that's what they're saying.
Do that.
They're not hiding it. Yeah. And this last one got me thinking a lot. They said feed ranking does not favor the photo or video format, which I had always heard, video doesn't do as well on Instagram. But then I went and looked at, like, one of their top influencers is a juggler, and I think he's juggling. I can't remember his name. He was on Mike's podcast. But anyway, all his stuff is video. Almost every post is video, and he's killing it. and they were saying that feeds are really tuned on what kind of content people are engaged with. And so if your audience is really engaged with your videos, like Zach King, that kind of stuff, then it doesn't matter. But if not, so if you don't
Yeah, I
watch
see.
videos, you're not going to see as many of them. So what they're saying is that if you like a lot of pictures, you're going to see more pictures. If you like a lot of videos, you're going to see more videos. So it doesn't really favor one or another. So that's something to
Okay.
keep in mind as well. So if you like creating videos, that made me happy that I don't have to worry about doing that,
Yeah,
So,
it is harder for a lot of us to do videos.
right.
But I mean, it all just comes down to what people engage with.
What your audience is engaged with.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
those
Huh.
people who do a lot of video and have tons of people watch their stuff, it works great for them. It
Great.
also said it doesn't favor users who use stories, live, or other special features. So, a lot of people said, well, if you use live, you'll get more people and stuff. The only thing I will say to this is I still think I like to do a story and a live video because you get that little extra circle around your icon when there's something new and that pops
Yeah.
up. And so I still think I like to do cross promotions, like if I do a story and have a post, because it'll gives me a little extra juice, I think, with just visually. Because
Yeah.
they say it doesn't matter. If you're doing stories, it's not going to make you have a better profile than somebody else.
No, but I think the wording is interesting. Instagram's feed doesn't favor users who use stories live or other special features of the app. However, those stories, those live or other special features might be what's engaging.
Right.
Right. So you should try it.
if you have a really good stories thing, no wonder your stuff is doing well because it's showing behind the scenes, and
Yep.
stories content takes a little bit of time to do.
It's not the technical fact of actually, we like it when you use our features, so we will favor all your content. It's just
Right.
the use of the content, which is interesting.
Well, this is a good one too. Instagram doesn't downrank users for posting too frequently or for other specific behaviors, but it might swipe other content in between someone's if they rapid fire separate posts. So it made me feel good because I feel like I didn't have to post every day, because that's hard. I know a lot of people stress out going, I've got to post on Instagram every day. They say do. Everybody says to post every day. Well, Instagram says it really doesn't downrank you. So
Right, it doesn't downrank you, but then again, there isn't as much of your content to put into the mix.
So
it's kind of.
But knowing that I'm not getting like a check mark against me from Instagram,
right,
that makes me feel better. Now, my follower count won't grow as fast and all that other stuff because I'm not posting every day, but I'm not getting dinged by Instagram by not doing it. So
yeah. Now, okay, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
I notice if I slack off on Instagram, which I do from time to time, my follower count will go down. So does that mean that people are finding my new content, following me, and then unfollowing me later, so that if I'm not posting, then I'm not having that new influx of people who follow and unfollow? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think maybe that has to do with that. And plus, you're not, it's like anything else. Your blog's not going to grow as fast if you only post once a month. It's not going to grow as fast as posted one. Yeah, I know. So it's not. It's just because you're not in front of people, and if you're not in front of people, they forget about you. That's just the way it is. My wife would forget about me if she didn't talk to me every day. I'm sure. No, it's she would. Yeah. If she ever left me, I'd have to go with her. So the other thing they said is that Instagram doesn't give extra feed presence to personal accounts or business accounts. So a lot of people are going, hey, I'm getting less engagement. I'm going to switch over to a business account. Oh, business accounts want me to do ads, so I'm going to go back to personal account. It doesn't matter. So
right,
you get a lot of benefits with a business account that you don't with a personal account, but it really doesn't matter. No extra feed presence because of that.
And I wonder about statements like that I did it and it did decrease my reach. Well, maybe it decreased your reach because now all of a sudden, instead of posting a mixture of your personal and your business, you're just posting business, so your followers are not as engaged.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of other factors to consider.
And that goes to the next point as well. And this is the biggest controversial thing that they said. It was said shadow banning is not a real thing. And we had people argue up and down with us about that. But they said it doesn't have anything to do with hiding, with posting too many hashtags or taking other actions. So once again, what you were saying, all those different factors, like, maybe you're doing something else, and maybe you're spamming or you're not engaging in your content or whatever. There's so many things that could cause it when people all of a sudden like, I'm not getting on, the top 9 anymore, and I've been shadow banned. Well,
Right. It's an
maybe not.
excuse a lot of times. Yeah.
And there's a lot more competition than when you started.
True.
I mean, there is. So
Yeah.
it's just one of the things that they say it's not true. So I'm sure we'll have people argue about that. So,
yeah. We have a question from Carrie. She's using Android, and when she uses Instagram search to find a hashtag, she wants to follow hashtags.
Right.
Okay. And Joanna had asked a question about that. Can you follow hashtags with an Android device? Yeah, I think you can. I mean, I have iPhone. I know you do too.
Yeah, I don't know about Android, but I'm pretty sure. I thought it was cross-platform.
I think it is. Yeah, so Carrie suggested use Instagram search to find the hashtag, and then you'll see a button to follow that hashtag. And that's how I did it with iPhone. So I'm pretty sure that you can do that with both.
Yeah, so I'm looking right here. So I'm trying to find a hashtag to follow.
Yeah, I love that feature, by the way. And it really makes me think about when I'm pinning content, which hashtags do I want to use? Because if my pin is about my trip, but I put on it Pinterest promoted pins as a hashtag because that's my hashtag, and I start my trip to Italy shows up in a promoted pins hashtag search, people are going to say, I don't want to see this content for this hashtag.
Right. That's one of the things you're going to be careful with is you want to use proper hashtags, and like hashtag manly Pinterest tips. I don't want to use it on all my personal stuff because I don't want people to go, I don't want to follow that hashtag. So I just went, this is Pat Flynn. It's Team Flynn. That was the first hashtag that came up. And then there's a big blue button at the top that says follow.
Oh, yeah, follow. I see that. And we had Justine from Tailwind is watching, and she just confirmed, she must have an Android, that yes, you can follow hashtags from Android. So do what Carrie said.
Yeah, one of the things is that like don't follow like hashtag like social media, because I've tried it and it's horrible. You'll get all sorts of way too much stuff. But like I follow like woodworking and wooden pins and those things. I found a lot of cool content that I wouldn't have found before. So niching down on the hashtags you follow, I think is probably a good idea. So
yeah, I love to follow hashtags about the content that I write about, so I can see not just like who's my competition and what they are writing about, but what people are talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, because then you can write content that fits that niche.
Yes.
That people are trying to find. So so that's the algorithm stuff. That's kind of the big stuff, and we've got a lot.
That was huge. That was huge.
It's huge. So go back and read that. I think you have the link for that.
Yeah, that was in TechCrunch on June 1st.
It's really good. There's a lot of good stuff in there, and it's really pretty eye-opening. And I hope other social media platforms do the same thing because it's really cool.
Yeah.
The other thing that Lisa missed on her big vacation is mention sharing. When you when you tag somebody in your story, it now pops up and says, "Hey, mention. You've been mentioned. You can repost it to your own story," which is very very cool.
I did that.
I love that stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Very very
Yesterday,
cool.
I got yesterday, Christy Hill and I. Christy Hill is a big Pinterest nerd like me, and we were talking about the different vocabulary that Pinterest uses to describe a pin, pinners, saving, repinning. How should we be talking about this stuff officially? So she put together a Pinterest dictionary, which is really.
You guys have way too much time on your hands.
It was hilarious.
Nerds. You're nerds.
I know we are nerds. We are nerds. So she tagged me in that, and then, like you said, it showed up that I was tagged in her story, and it said, "Do you want to share the story?" I was like, well, of course I do. So then I tagged her back, and then I added the hashtag Pinterest nerds. So that is very, very cool.
It's one more thing where they're trying to get that interaction between people, not just
like
throwing
real.
something up there. Yeah, talking, and then you share because you were mentioned, you'll more likely to share that. So that is something I think marketers can really capitalize on. If somebody mentions you, make sure you go back there, especially if you're a brand and they mention you. Like if somebody goes mentions Tailwind, Tailwind's going to respond and may even share their own story, which if it's a good picture and it's, it works for their channel. So, I mean, that's a good thing for brands to think about. It's like, don't let that stuff go. One, that means you need to check your Instagram every day so it doesn't go away in 24 hours. But it's just the one little hack that I can do. The other thing
I like that it opens up a dialogue, right? Yes. So right there, what are you going to do? You're not going to just share it. You're going to say, this is so cool. Thank you. Or can I use this on a blog post? Or it really makes it so that you can interact and collaborate with people.
And like I've, when I've been on podcasts before, they'll say, "Hey, I'm on," and they'll at mention you, and then it shows them your story. Then I can share it to my story, and so it's just very, very cool how some of that stuff it can trickle down. I guess is the best way to do that.
Yeah.
Also with Instagram stories, Instagram stories, so many people are using them every day. They're saying like 300 million people are using them every day, which is a lot. They're actually we talked about shoppable posts. Well, they're actually starting to test shoppable stories. And I saw some of these. They're only for the big boys now, like Adidas and Koppels and some other products where they can tag it right in there. And they've been testing this for a while, but it's starting to roll out. I think they started with 20 partners and it's going out more. So it comes up and there's a little shopping bag on it, kind of like what you see in their posts. But you can actually click on it and go buy it. So that I think is going to roll out more too. It's going to be the big boys first, and then it'll come to the rest of us. But man, this is great for people who are thinking about one more place to spend your marketing dollars instead of just like YouTube ads and Facebook ads. Being able to do that and put that right in front of people if you have a product is going to be huge.
Yeah, because I forget you can turn your stories into ads. Is that right?
Uh-huh. So we're not really sure how it's going to work with that. How it's going to work. How you can promote that as an ad. But they were showing one example of a girl on a beach and had sunglasses on, and right by her sunglasses was a shopping basket where you could click on and buy those sunglasses. So very, very cool on stuff like that. So that's going to be huge. And the other big monster news that rolled out while you were off on the beach was IGTV. Holy cow, it's the big news. We had Ian Anderson Gray, our friend, on talking about this because he's a big video guy.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
And one thing I think marketers need to think about is thinking about getting on IGTV and using it. Because
what is it? I don't understand.
It's long form stories is what it is. It's the vertical video, but you can. I think they're saying like some of the influencers are going to have up to an hour and have shows. I think for people like us rolling out, it's only 10 minutes for right now, but it's a lot longer than we had. But most people are just making long stories, and it's really meant to have produced video content that's vertical. So you've got to upload it to your phone, but it's the ground floor is what I think of is like MTV almost, or they're really trying for that crowd, but you're on the ground floor, and instead of having to go to YouTube and compete against all those other YouTube influencers, you could start doing your stuff right there. And they add links. Even if you're under 10,000, you can have a link you can do a story that points to your IGTV channel, and have links in that. So it's very, very cool.
Where do you see that when you look at somebody's profile? If they're using it, where do you see it?
IGTV is actually inside of Instagram, and it's also a separate app. And they both work the same way. It's kind of like when Boomerang rolled out. Remember, it had a separate app, but also you could use it in the thing. But the cool thing is when you do an IGTV, like you do a story, there's now in your Instagram, in your profile, there's a new button that says IGTV where all those live. So what's really cool is now your profile has even more real bonus, I think, for people to come visit, because they're going to go see what your IGTV channel looks like. And your link is the only place you have a link on Instagram for most people is on the profile page. Well, it's just one more thing is making your profile page more valuable, in my opinion. So
wow. So anybody can do this?
Yeah. You can go download the app. You can use it as a separate app, and they did that so they wanted it to be not distracting, and also it lives inside of Instagram. So like here's social media example. Yeah, so on Social Media Examiner's channel, you'll see that at the far left, it says IGTV, and then it has our other highlights that we have created. But IGTV shows up automatically when you do your first IGTV thing. So it's really, really cool.
Okay, so Social Media Examiner is using it. What do you think? Are people getting engagement from it? People watching it?
And we're still trying to wrap our head around what we're going to do. Like, for Eric and I, so we break news. We're going to break some news today. And one of the problems is it's vertical video. And everything records, like when we're doing these lives, as this is, the widescreen. So we're figuring out a way to be able to chop it and stack it on top of each other. Will this integrate? Yeah. Will this integrate with Instagram Live, we don't know. It's right now it's a separate thing. I would
Not
like it to be able to do an Instagram Live and push it to IGTV. So far, you can't be able to do this.
That would be nice. So Breezy Patterson says that they've noticed larger brands using horizontal video instead of posting a portrait, which that's how people generally create video if you're going to use it online. So they want to repurpose it that way. But is that a good idea?
I grew my whole business started editing video. And so it's been really hard for me to go to this goofy video format.
Well, it's all the phones. It's the phone's fault.
And they make no bones about it. IGTV says this is going to be mobile first. We're making it for mobile to have it in your hand. We're making it simple, so you'll use it this way. And it's going to be curated from. They've already got people who like Ninja with a big Fortnite game streamer. He helped announce this, and so he's doing stuff on IGTV. And so this is going to be huge. And I think. And this sounds bad, but go look at Snapchat Discovery and look how like Tasty Made and Food Network and how they're editing their vertical videos, and learn how, because that's where it's going. As much as I hate to say it, it's going that way.
All right,
you can't more that vertical video.
Okay, so let's put this into a workflow for the average marketer or the person who's used to these horizontal videos, because I can see where Tailwind's going to want to use this. So let's say we have a video that we create for YouTube that shows how you can now use Tailwind for Pinterest to also schedule Facebook posts, right? Cool new feature. It does take a little bit of explaining. So a video is just perfect for this. But we've created the video for YouTube, so it's horizontal. What do we do?
You're going to have to re-edit it for vertical. And here's why. And this is a little thing too, because this will tie into Pinterest. Pinterest has teased at video, that big video conference, VidCon, that they're rolling out these video pins, and you can already do it with a little workaround with ads. But
you can do it now even without that workaround. You just click the upload pin, and you can upload a video.
Well, it depends on some accounts, not all my accounts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anyway, the stuff you're creating for IGTV, Pinterest already said that we're really going to be pushing for the vertical format. They'll let the other stuff work, but they really want it. And the same reason, because most of Pinterest users go this way, with this vertical video.
And they're on mobile. Yep.
Yes. So my thing is because a lot of our viewers right now are both Instagram and Pinterest heavy, learn how to do vertical video, because you'll be able to use it in both places. And
you're right. I don't like it, but you're right.
Because it'll perform better. And then the thing is a lot of times, Square Video does really good on Facebook. And so being able just to crop it a little bit, you're already in the vertical format. It's easier to crop that way, just a little bit more, than you can have a Square Video, or even the longer videos work on Facebook too. So, and YouTube, you can have those bars on the side, but I just see it moving in this direction really heavily.
So then let's go back to my example, because I still don't have my workflow. Bear with me. Okay, so I want to make this, it's mostly a screen share video, let's say. Mm-hmm. So usually screen capture is going to be wide. So do I just need to change my screen share window capture to a vertical? Is that what you do?
Yeah, but I would also share if you're doing screen capture, I would do it on your phone, because like in ScreenFlow and that, you can plug in your phone and get it on the screen. And so for YouTube, you could have your screen, in the middle of it, and then when it's actually on the vertical video, it would just show the screen. But you could have a background or whatever when you're doing the YouTube version of it.
Okay.
Because you can just plug it in with ScreenFlow and do it that way. Sorry, I'm really nerdy about this stuff. So
no, I love it. I need it. Yeah. So, but Kelly.
Also, you might want to do it 3 different times, because Eric Fisher and I
don't want to do it 3 different times.
We used to break news, and we do it like on Facebook, then we go to Instagram, and then we go to Periscope. Yes, exactly, Kelly. Exactly.
Okay, make a background and overlay your horizontal video on top to post to IGTV. Add your branding, etc. on the background too. Great for repurposing existing content. Okay, I think we can handle
your
that.
Stuff needs to be big enough that you want to have so people can see it well on mobile. Just like the best practices for a Pinterest pin, you want to look and make sure it's readable on a mobile device. Stay away from scripty fonts, and stuff that, you know, a lot of text you can't read.
Wow. So, I mean, the marketing world just gets more and more complicated, but I think we pulled up some things that we really need to be using. Like you mentioned about IGTV being, this is amazing. I mean, the big guys can do it, but we can do it too. So,
And this ties into news too. I might as well talk about while we're talking about IGTV. They just released an IGTV guidebook for creatives that you can go and download. That Instagram has published this. It's a big PDF document. That's pretty cool. I think you can find it if you just Google that, but it's on Instagram. I'm trying to find the link to it. I can't find it now. But anyway, go look at that. It gives you some best practices for creating content, even some apps to help you create IGTV content. I'm going to kind of burn through these really quick, these next ones.
Yeah,
okay. We're running out of time.
Yeah.
Another cool thing that Instagram has done for stories is they released a music sticker, which is really cool. Now you can have sound effects from like real artists on your things that are legal. So on your stories that you can have it. So I just did one with Eric Fisher where he was smart mouthing me and I put a mean one, Mr. Grinch, on my story. One of the things, if you do have the swipe up option, you can't have where you can link to your like your page or something like that. When you do a music sticker, it only lets you link to the artist. So if you have the swipe up, if you're the 10,000 plus and you want to have a music sticker, it won't work because it has to link back to the artist's Instagram account. So
wait, don't move on yet. That's cool. But I have a question about when you have the 10,000 followers, so you can have a link on swipe up. There's still no way to allow people to leave comments on those. Is that right? Because it's either like if you're like me and you don't have that many followers, you can comment on someone's story. If you have 10,000, you don't have.
So far, I think you're right because Social Examiner can't. So you have to balance between, like when I do something like that for Social Examiner, I'll have swipe up to learn more, and then I'll have another screen. It'll say, "What do you guys think about that?" And then they'll be able to have the comments.
Oh, that is a great idea. Okay.
So, thank you. But the music stickers is fun. They're constantly adding new stuff all the time. If you have iOS, you can actually start, and you can even lip sync to it before. Android, you still have to wait till you recorded something and then add the music. But you can, for iOS, you can actually start it and lip sync it or do whatever you want. So it's very fun. It's very cool. So that's the big news. And then the big news today that just rolled out is that, what is it? I keep trying to remember now.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, tell me what it was. I can't remember now.
Question sticker.
Oh, yes. They're question stickers. So now you can ask an open-ended comment. And then they can hit reply and type it in, and it shows up as a direct message, and you can see all those comments, and then you can share them as a sticker on your own story. And the cool thing is it doesn't keep the username, so it can be anonymous. So if you say, hey, what do you guys think about this? And somebody goes, well, I really hated it because blah, blah, blah. You can post that, and it doesn't, you don't have to see their name or whatever. But it's another really cool way, and this just rolled out today, as to have interacting and to poll people, because I just did one. I said, hey, new stickers are here. Will you, is this something you will use? And then Eric, of course, wrote back and says, yes, I'll use it to humiliate you publicly. And so then I could share that as a sticker, but I added his name because he needed credit for that.
Yes, he did need credit for that.
So, and yes, the other thing is you can stack different stickers on. So I was able to, with that, I mentioned him because I wanted to blame him for it with the at mention sticker. And also I added the music sticker, which played that mean Mr. Grinch music with it as well. So there's some fun stuff you can do that. So
yeah, Justine is lurking in the background, and she said that one of Tailwind's members said that they use it for researching content topics. So I assume that's like, what do you want to hear about? What can I answer for you? Yeah, that's a great idea.
And then you can share the responses, which is another way to build a conversation going back and forth to people. And it's really cool how it shows up in your screen. You can actually, we'll see if I can pull it up here. You can actually scroll through them and then share them. Let me go back to my account real quick. And what it does is it shows up. So you go to your story, and that's not it. You go to your story. So
everybody follow Jeff and go check out.
And you click on it, and then it says right here it has all the different things that you can click on, which will actually go into add to your story, and it's like a sticker, and then you can swipe through all of them and see. So it's very, very cool. Like somebody said, ask beard questions. That's really good. My son smart mouth me too, so that's always nice. But so I think it's a fun way, and like, yeah, if you're a marketer or if you're researching topics for it, like, hey, we're thinking about having these different flowers on sale on Friday. Which bouquet would you pick? You could have comments and people would say, well, I like the red one, but if you could add it to this one, it'd be better, and all that stuff. And so it's a great way to get interaction from your fans.
Okay.
And that's the news. And we even skip stuff because
we did, because there's just too much. But I think I think that's good, because I feel like there's so much. It's totally overwhelming, and you might feel like I just can't keep up. But what we covered today was a lot of the stuff we really can use as marketers and how we can. Mm-hmm. So if you have any questions about those features, IGTV, you predict that's going to be huge, right?
I think so. I think, and I would try to. A lot of people are just using it as a long story format. I would try to think about producing a little bit more polish to it, because, and then, educating, using some motion graphics maybe on there. But like what you're saying, the example you used for Tailwind, like doing a new feature, or how to, I would do a quick thing about how to schedule pins and put it, because it lives on your IGTV. It doesn't go away. It's a channel now for you to push, just like a YouTube channel. You could have content there that people can go and digest quickly. How to schedule pins with, on Tailwind with Instagram. I mean, just all sorts of things that you put on there, and it'll be perfect.
Okay. Well, yeah. And somebody found the link for the IGTV guide. Yes, I do believe that is a Dropbox link. So if you want to drop that in there, that would be fabulous. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about what you've been up to.
I've been looking at all this news. Is what I've been doing.
I know. Yeah, you go live a lot. I see it all the time.
Yes, we do. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing that. We will probably even go live later this afternoon with this news I just broke here. But yeah, so I'm getting ready into, if you're going to be in Arkansas at the Megaphone Conference, I will be keynoting there at the beginning of August, which will be very cool. I'll have fun there. But other than that, let's see. I just wrote a new blog post about rest, how important it is for creativity. So go to PinterestTips.com and read that and let me know what you think.
Yeah, I think I need a nap.
I do need a nap.
Yeah. So I'm heading to, me either. No shame. Heading to Haven Conference in Charleston this week to talk about organic Pinterest and promoted pins. So it's kind of a marathon session, an hour and a half long. It's a group of DIY bloggers, mainly in the home decor, gardening sphere. So it's, I'm sure I'll learn something. I guess there are a lot of workshops, like hands-on stuff, a lot of cool sponsors like Home Depot. So I'm looking forward to that. It's kind of a newer crowd for me. So I'm going to do some sightseeing while I'm down there, eat some good food, talk to people about Pinterest. That's, all the good things. So thanks for being here, Jeff. And we'll be back in a few months to cover all the new things that I'm sure will keep us and keep you on your toes. So thanks everybody for joining us and for all your great questions and comments, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.